What's up everyone, OJ over here from PlayerEssence. Welcome back to another video. Today, we are going to do something actually different. And we're actually going to be very positive about a press conference that we just got done. I'm doing a live reaction from it, so it just got done happening. Shout outs to the live audience here, and also shout outs to everybody watching on YouTube. Seriously, this was actually pretty damn good. I'm gonna have to go ahead and say that this was pretty good because Square Enix brought the goods. I felt overall, let's just talk about pacing. The way that this show was paced, it was kind of weird at the beginning and the end because they did have some live segments and they brought out people to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake, which looks awesome. We'll talk about that. Then at the end, they talked about Avengers, which kind of slowed things down. But what they did is that they took a hybrid show. So they took a show from like Nintendo Direct, for example, right? With just edited trailers or whatever the case is, but then they also infused a live show with it. And yes, that does create pacing issues, but at the same time, you probably get the best of both worlds. You get people who can be there live and experience that. You get the annoying crowd, which knocks down the experience for people that aren't there. But then you also get the I'm gonna go ahead and take my headphones out. You get like the sleekness, and you get like the streamlined version of them just showing off game after game after game after game. And from what I understand, outside of Microsoft's conference, this is the most games that any publisher showed at any of these conferences. And I'm not talking about like Kind of Funny Games Showcase or limited run games. I'm just talking about like a publisher actually making their own content, publishing their own content. This was the most outside of Microsoft's 60 games, but they're a platform holder, so that's a little bit different because they're showing off other people's games. This was all Square Enix stuff. And I have to say, I was very impressed. I was very impressed with the amount of content they're showing. They showed a lot of love to Nintendo Switch, multiple different games being announced. And guys, I might forget some of the stuff that was announced. So, you know, obviously this isn't going to be something towards like a full recap and I remember everything. But from what I understand, we have a shadow drop of The Last Remnant remaster for the Nintendo Switch. We also have Final Fantasy VIII, the remake or remastered. That's coming to all systems as well. You have Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which is still set for, I think they said winter. So that could be next year as well, just technically speaking, but I'm thinking maybe it's going to come out this year. So you have Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles as well, and there was Romancing SaGa, there was Romancing SaGa 3, then the Abyss game, Romancing SaGa. So there was a number of titles across a multitude of different platforms, which was really cool, and I like that they actually showed quite a bit of love over to the Nintendo Switch. So that was awesome. And Final Fantasy VIII is finally coming over. That's a big deal for so many people out there. Final Fantasy VIII finally coming over to all the different platforms. So I really like that they did that. And I think they still have some more work to do with it, you know, when it comes down to it. But overall, I'm excited about that. Now, another thing that I want to talk about here, guys, is Final Fantasy VII Remake. And then we can kind of talk about some of the other stuff like Oninaki. Then we can talk about like the Avengers game. So Final Fantasy VII Remake, there is a $329 collector's edition that you can pre-order right now that comes with Cloud on the motorcycle. It's $329. It's very expensive. I'm still teetering back and forth whether I want to purchase that because it just looks so cool, but it's $329, and I need to see some more information because this game is going to be a multi-part game. Some people were kind of confused with that. Yes, it is going to be a multi-part, two-part Blu-ray game, so I don't know for sure. Maybe somebody in the chat can correct me or whatever the case is, but it is going to be a multi-part game in terms of, I'm not sure if you get both parts with the collector's edition. Maybe you do. I'm not sure. That would be nice if they did, but we have to wait and see. But overall, Square Enix absolutely killed it when it comes to the presentation. They did a great job. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a nice little, it's kind of a hybrid. You know what it reminds me of a lot, Matt? It reminds me of Mass Effect. And here's the reason why. Because what Mass Effect does is that it's real-time action, right? Anytime you press a button, anytime you shoot the trigger, blah, 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 you do the attack. But then it has the ATB. Now, Mass Effect doesn't have ATB. But once you activate that ATB, it slows down the action. Almost like, oh, it's kind of like moving very slowly. And then you can pick your attack that you want to do. So it's kind of like a real-time ATB kind of mixed in hybrid, kind of how Mass Effect is, because anytime you pull up that wheel, it slows things down, and then you can pick your action. So it's very cool. I think that's cool, and it's a completely different game. This is not Final Fantasy VII. It is not the same game. This is a different game that is taking inspiration pretty much from Final Fantasy VII. Now, there's going to be a lot of similarities, right? Like the locations and kind of what you do and stuff like that, but it's completely remade. It's a completely different style of game. So it was very interesting to see what they're doing with Final Fantasy VII Remake. The move to an action-based system, kind of incorporating some Final Fantasy 15 / Kingdom Hearts / Mass Effect. It's kind of a hybrid of a lot of different games, kind of all mixed into one. And I thought that was really cool. Unfortunately, no Secret of Mana collection. Maybe that's going to be tomorrow. I'm thinking that that's going to be tomorrow at Nintendo's Direct. I'm thinking that it's probably going to be that. Nintendo probably has quite a number of Square Enix things to announce as well. Dragon Quest Builders 2 looked absolutely amazing. That was great. I love that. Somebody told me to shut up during that. So that was great too. Because I was talking sometimes, but I was like, oh my gosh, it's Dragon Quest Builders 2. This game came out last year in Japan. I mean, it's like, we know it's coming out July. Great. You know, Oninaki looked great. Upgraded graphics, the lighting, the engine looks great. That's going to be coming out August 22nd for that game. So that's really cool. Overall, Square Enix had a great presentation with all that stuff. They also had Dying Light, which was already shown up, I think, at a different conference or whatever. So whatever, Dying Light's coming out. And then they also had the new Outlanders or Outsiders or something like that. So that's a new IP, but they didn't show any gameplay of that. So whatever on that one. But it seems like it could be cool. They also showed off Avengers. Let's talk about Avengers. They showed off some other games, but yeah, the show was good. There's a lot of games. But Avengers was the thing that, like, how was that going to play? They really didn't give us an idea too much. I mean, they gave us some behind like the back and kind of looks like, you know, how it's going to play, but it seemed kind of confusing how this game was going to operate in terms of post-launch. So there's 4-player co-op, or there's co-op in the game. You can use 5 different characters, but apparently there's going to be updates to the game that come free. But there's no loot boxes or anything like that, but there's updates and there's probably like upgrades or something like that. So I don't know exactly what's going to be going down here when it comes to everything that they're doing with that game. So I'm gonna have to wait and see. My mind is a little bit reserved on that one, and there's not many playable characters in this one, which I expected because of the graphics and because of what they're doing. It's a very different style of game because some people have tried to compare, you know, Marvel Ultimate Alliance and what they're doing and what this game is doing, and obviously you can see from like Marvel Ultimate Alliance is like 30-something characters, and the way that they're doing things compared to this game, very different styles of game. And I figured that it'd be a third-person action game similar to like Tomb Raider, but the co-op is really cool. I like that they're adding co-op, but they didn't really give us any actual live gameplay demo of the game. They showed a lot of flashy cutscenes and stuff like that, and they talked about the voice actors in the game, which they do have an all-star cast. I mean, you know, Troy Baker, Nolan North, they got some great people that are doing the voice acting, so that's cool. But it seems like there's going to be a lack of characters and maybe some added in the future for free, though. So it's not going to be paid, and maybe some different locations. But I just need to see more. I mean, it looks great. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but they just didn't really give us much. It didn't really give us much at all, man. So yeah, it just is what it is there. But overall, in terms of a grade, so what is the grade for the conference? I know a lot of you guys here in the live chat and a lot of you guys probably watching on YouTube, you guys want to know my grade for the conference. Well, overall, after everything that I've seen there, I'm going to go ahead and have to give Square Enix, and once again, this is probably going to be my best grade that I've given so far. Square Enix is going to go ahead and they're going to get a A- from me. An A-. I felt that they delivered. They did a nice hybrid show between Nintendo Direct and live audience. The live audience was annoying, but they announced the goods. They announced localizations of games that people wanted localized. They announced Final Fantasy VIII. You know, they got Crystal Chronicles in there. They had a lot of great games. Some of the stuff they already talked about, but I'm going to go ahead and give them an A- for the show. I thought it was pretty good. B+ A-. So I'm going to go ahead and B+ A-. I thought that it was a solid show for me, somewhere in that range. So yeah. So to me, it was an A. It was an A- or B+, one of those two. It's kind of like people in the chat here. They're like, oh well, B. You give it a B, give it a B. See, some people have it. It's so funny how people are doing it. But I'm gonna go ahead and say yeah, it was good. I was impressed. I mean, at the end of the day, it wasn't bad, and it was definitely better than average. It wasn't a C. And the reason why I'm giving it B+, A-, somewhere in that range, man, is just because, like I said, there was a ton of games and they showed a lot of gameplay and they had a hybrid show. So people who like live shows, you got your live show. People who like what's it called? Nintendo Directs, you got your Nintendo Direct. They had a lot of release dates for stuff, so they were giving us release dates. They were giving us gameplay. So overall, it's definitely gonna be B+. I'm thinking about it, and like a lot of the stuff in terms of their main stuff that they did show, we didn't really have, like that's coming out next year and things like that. But at the same time, I still think that it was a solid show. I still think that was a very, very good show. And it was the best conference that we've had so far. It was the best conference that we've had so far. So yeah, final score. I think after looking at everything, a lot of you guys are saying your thoughts and reminding me about a couple different things here. I'm going to go ahead and give it a B+. I think a B+ is a solid score for it. And that is the best score by far that I've given. The next best score was a C+ to Microsoft. And I'm talking about the main conferences here. So we're going to go ahead and give it a B+. I think it was really good. I thought it was really good. And I think that they supported a lot of the systems I like the Switch support. I like, obviously, they had PS4, Xbox One, PC, and I like the little live presentations that didn't wear out their welcome too much, but at the same time, it was solid. So overall, B+. All right, guys, that wraps it up for my live grading of Square Enix's conference. This will be up on the channel very soon here for those watching live. For those not, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. What was your favorite thoughts, moments, games from the Square Enix conference? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description below. Oh my gosh, we got all sorts of good stuff there. Japanese RPG, gaming news, all that good stuff. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate that. We'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.